Kids and 6 adults may have amounted to some kind of score in Lanza's mind. And this is not the first time that violent video games have taken heat after a killing. Tonight, Jerry Gretzinger takes the video game debate to a retailer and a psychologist who both say it really comes down to the parents.
Ibrahim Abdul Rahman of Pastime Legend says there's an endless supply of M-rated video games that glorify violence, sex, drugs. For the intended audience of 17+, he says it's okay, but no younger.
Kids should not be playing this. If you wouldn't want your kid watching an R-rated movie with all these different themes, why would you want to buy your kid a game with all these same things that they can play even more extensively than a 2-3 hour film?
Just last week,
at least have a short-term effect on their behavior immediately thereafter.
Dr. Richard Kagan, a child and family psychologist and director of research and consultation at Northern Rivers Family Services, says new research shows that yes, long exposure to violence in video games or otherwise can lead to a child being increasingly aggressive and violent.
I think.
Hi, my name is Gloria Allen, and my topic is on my persuasive speech is on violent video games. By the end of my speech, the audience will be convinced that violent video games can affect children emotionally and mentally. Even though violent video games affect them emotionally and mentally, it's unhealthy for children because researchers have shown how this behavior may be affecting them playing those violent video games, which is causing some health issues. You may ask this generation, what will you do? What are you doing on a Saturday? And most of the time, the reply will probably be playing video games or watching cable TV. Kids these days do not know how to explore and play model airplanes or cars. They rather stay inside and play video games and watch TV. The fact that our children are facing serious problems which is linked to violent video games. The reason I decided to pick this topic is because I have a grandson that is a victim of playing these violent video games and have caused some aggressiveness in his behavior. First, I will discuss how violent video games are affecting our children. Second, I will discuss how it's affecting the children health-wise. And finally, I will discuss how it's affecting our children in school. There should be a balance of exposure and playing video games. Our children, on the other hand, are imitating from playing those violent video games. Video games, although we watch our children with their aggressiveness behavior and nothing has been done about it. Frequently, the kids are labeled because of aggressive behavior. They most of the time are put in emotional behavior disorder classes, which is called EBD classes. According to Hardin 2008, are pretty good evidence that violent video games do indeed cause aggressive behavior. According to Rich 2003, he states that video games could have an even greater effect than TV because of the interactive, often the interface that the child has with the game is a gun. The issues of our children faced with aggressive behavior and health issues are believed to be linked to violent video games. In today's society, kids are spending 2 hours or more watching television and playing the violent video games, and parents are not thinking about the children's consequences. According to Rich, gave a testimony on how critical the physical and mental health of playing the violent video games. The most important reason is how it's affecting the children in school because of the violent video games. It's causing them aggressive behavior. We need to find a way to help our children with aggressive behavior. Reflecting on my own experience with my grandson, these behaviors do exist.